Chardonnay is one of the most polarizing things in the wine world. We have so many people that say, oh, I like Chardonnay, I hate Chardonnay, I don't like oaky Chardonnay, blah, 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 blah. Let me take you into the history of Chardonnay. And I personally love Chardonnay. It is the most planted white wine grape varietal in the world for a reason. Here's what happened though. Back in the 60s and the 70s, Napa Valley vintners, they had their North Star of winemaking for Chardonnay was white Burgundy. White Burgundy, 99.9% of the time, the grape in there is Chardonnay. If you've heard of the great wines of the world from Meursault, Chassagne, Montrachet, these are always Chardonnay. And what do they do in these great regions? They use 100% oak 100% of the time in the higher levels of wine. So the Napa Valley vintners in the 60s and 70s said, well, if the white Burgundians are doing that, then that's what I'll do with my wine. Well, grapes do not grow the same in different regions. There's that little thing called terroir, right? And terroir also encompasses the know-how of the winemakers. And in Burgundy, they're literally history of making wine from vintages back to the Cistercian monks for over 1,000 years. They knew how to use oak. And it was like a pinch of salt in a dish. It was a part of the wine, and it just helped the wine get even better. Now, cut to California, you're using 100% oak on grapes and juice that was sun-drenched, can be high sugar, high alcohol in California. Well, what happens is you get those big oaky flavors. New oak gives you vanilla, caramel, baking spices, almost sweeter profile. However, cut to, remember, we're in the 70s, we're in the 80s. America is a young wine drinking culture at this point. So we didn't really have a palate for wine yet. But what we did have a palate for, our native spirit, called bourbon. And what is by law? Bourbon needs to be aged in a 100% charred oak barrel before it's drank. So we had this palate, we had this comfortability, this familiarity with oak beverages. And thus, oaky California Chardonnay was a big hit in the 70s and 80s. And then once the 90s hit, the 2000s, and we became more of a mature wine culture and people railed against oaky Chardonnay. I'll step off my soapbox now to just hope you understand the history of Chardonnay in this country, and that the pendulum has swung the other way, and it is now much more about the grapes, juice that is in balance, and using oak if you use it as just one part, like a chef making a dish. As my friend and colleague Deb Lewis always used to say, if you don't like Chardonnay, you simply haven't found the right Chardonnay yet.